Remember when the Trump campaign recently bought advertisements in the West Palm Beach, Florida area? And lots of people were saying, look, it's a vanity play. Donald Trump just wants to see his own ads at Mar-a-Lago, or he wants people at Mar-a-Lago to see these ads. But there may be something deeper here as well. And we've been reporting on the MeidasTouch network that Florida actually seems very much in play. I mean, we showed you the recent PPP poll, the public policy poll, which is a good poll in Florida, which only has Donald Trump up 51% to 47%. And that gap appears to be narrowing. And then one of the things that I think is very important is what just happened regarding Amendment 4 in Florida. Now, Amendment 4 would essentially codify Roe v. Wade in Florida, and it would overturn Florida's 6-week abortion ban. Now, Donald Trump gave an interview on Thursday regarding Amendment 4 after he previously said a few weeks back that he was going to have a press conference to announce his position. Was he going to vote yes on Amendment 4 to overturn the 6-week abortion ban, or was he going to vote no on Amendment 4 to keep the 6-week abortion ban in play? Now, it's important that reporters ask him that question. Our editor-in-chief at the MeidasTouch Network, Ron Filipkowski, has been pressing for an answer to that question. But just take a look at the polling from that same PPP poll on Amendment 4. It has 61% support, overwhelming support to overturn the 6-week abortion ban. There's another poll that was done by Northern Florida University, which has similar numbers in the similar range, actually higher, 69% support according to the University of Northern Florida poll. So I want you to bear that in mind when you hear Donald Trump's flip-flop in a little bit. But first I want to share with you some Florida voters, and here's what some of these Florida voters are having to say. Often it's about women's reproductive rights. Often it's about, I see a lot of men who are saying, look, I have daughters and I can't have my daughters live in a country led by Donald Trump. But we're hearing this message a lot in Florida. And we know we previously reported about even the conservative villages supporting Vice President Kamala Harris, or an overwhelming number. So let me show you this right here. Here's just one such clip. Here is Paul, who's a former Trump voter from Florida. Here's what Paul has to say. Here, play this clip.
January 6th was a turning point for our country. That was Trump's fault. I blame him. I take it personally. My name is Paul. I'm from Florida. I'm a former Trump voter and will never vote for that man again. He is a convicted felon. He is an adjudicated rapist. He was a horrible leader. I have 2 daughters. He is not anybody I would ever let walk my dog, much less let my children look up to. President of the United States should be above that fray, and that guy is not. January 6th was a turning point for our country, and it should not be forgotten. That was Trump's fault. I blame him. I take it personally, and he should never be allowed anywhere near the Oval Office again. He deserves to be in a jail cell. And the fact that that guy is talking about pardoning those people, nope, I'm out. But beyond that, we have somebody to vote for. With Biden, I was going to vote for Biden regardless. He could be in a pine box. I'd still vote for him over Trump. But now we have a vision for the future. We have a competent leader who is young, who is with it, who can deliver a message, and who will perform on the world stage. And in 2024, I will be voting for Kamala Harris, no question.
And now here is Rich Logis, who spoke at the Democratic National Convention. He was a former MAGA radio host. And here's what Rich has to say. He's from Florida. Play this clip.
My name is Rich Logis. I live in Florida, and until 2 years ago, I was a full-fledged member of MAGA. I believed Trump. I was a MAGA pundit. I had my own podcast. I was in a state of panic, terrified that Democrats were destroying our country. When the pandemic hit, we needed leadership, but we were given almost nothing. It was a major betrayal to the country. So I finally stepped outside the MAGA echo chamber. I stopped listening to what Trump said and looked around with my own eyes. And I realized he had been lying about pretty much everything. Lying is Trump's toxic superpower. He's ripped apart families, communities, our whole country. So this is my message to all the Republicans and independents who are watching. People like me who voted for and believed in Trump. I made a grave mistake, but it's never too late to change your mind. You don't need to agree with everything you hear tonight to do what is right. We need to be able to trust our leaders. That's why I'm all in for Kamala Harris.
Here's what Joanna, Florida voter, what she has to say. Play this clip.
He does not respect law and order. He does not respect the rules of this country. And I don't think he answers to any higher power. I'm Joanna. I live in Florida. I'm a former Trump voter. And in 2024, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. As time went on, he just seemed to be a horrible leader. Certainly our country was in a mess. And his solution for a lot of things was basically temper tantrum. Being in the military, I had taken an oath to defend the Constitution. I did not take an oath to support the president or the party or anything else like that. And I thought, at the end of the day, I've got to do what's right by the Constitution, in essence, to save it from somebody who keeps threatening to tear it up. He does not respect law and order. He does not respect the rules of this country. And I don't think he answers to any higher power. I don't think he believes in God. I don't think he has any sense of a spiritual self at all. And I think he just finds himself just unchecked by anybody. Whereas I believe Harris, the cabinet picks that they've had in the current administration have been fine. I don't see huge issues with any of them. Again, I might disagree with a lot of them, but they don't seem incompetent in any way. They seem to be getting the job done, whatever the job happens to be. So I feel fairly confident that should she be reelected, the world's not going to fall apart. We're going to be okay.
And here, Chris Nelson from Florida, here's what he had to say when I interviewed him before. Play this clip.
What's your final message, though, to the kind of Trump supporters out there, to those who are still in MAGA? What do you say to them?
Well, there's really not much I can say because there is a cult-like thing going on here. But all I can say is what I've already said. It's like, guys, it's okay to be on the other side of it. Look, I'm having a conversation with Ben Meiselas here. I mean, it's okay to be on the other side and admit that you were conned. Listen, if grifting was an art, Trump would be Picasso. If grifting was music, Trump would be Mozart. Donald Trump is a grifting prodigy. He has superhuman abilities to pull the blinds over people's eyes. So if you were taken by him, if you were had by him, don't feel bad about it. I'm a smart guy. A lot of people were. And it's okay to admit that you were wrong, move on, and there's freedom and joy on the other side. Guys, it's okay to leave MAGA. You're going to be okay. It doesn't make you a traitor to America.
Wanted to share all of that with you, and hat tip to the Republican voters against Trump for getting a lot of those interviews. Now let me show you what Donald Trump has said over the past few days, right? On Thursday, Donald Trump indicated that he would vote in favor of Amendment 4 to codify Roe v. Wade and then overturn the 6-week abortion ban. Here's what he's told an NBC reporter. Play this clip.
You overturn Roe and you want abortion to be a states' rights issue. In Florida, the state that you are a resident of, there's an abortion-related amendment on the ballot to overturn the 6-week ban in Florida. How are you going to vote on that?
Well, I think the 6-week is too short. It has to be more time, and so and I've told them that I want more weeks.
So you'll vote in favor of the amendment?
I'm voting that I am going to be voting that we need more than 6 weeks. Look, just so you understand.
But then less than 24 hours later, Donald Trump reversed that position, and Donald Trump said that he supports the 6-week Florida abortion ban. Play this clip.
Voting yes or no on Amendment 4 in Florida.
So I think 6 weeks, you need more time than 6 weeks. I've disagreed with that right from the early primaries. When I heard about it, I disagreed with it. At the same time, the Democrats are radical because the 9 months is just a ridiculous situation where you can do an abortion in the 9th month. And, some of the states like Minnesota and other states have it where you could actually execute the baby after birth. And all of that stuff is unacceptable. So I'll be voting no for that reason.
Then Donald Trump says a number of things there that are just so obviously false. He says that there are states that are executing babies who are alive. That's not true. He said that there are Democrats or Amendment 4 would support abortions at 9 months and 8 months. That's not true. It protects the women's reproductive rights and viability. It essentially codifies Roe v. Wade. No one's executing babies. Only in the most rare of circumstances where the baby's already dead or the mother's about to die. I mean, are you talking about any types of abortions later in the pregnancy? And it's the most difficult and tragic situation imaginable for anybody involved. And so to not trust women and their doctors, but to have Donald Trump be the one to make these decisions, it's absolutely sickening. The Harris-Walz campaign put out the following statement. Statement from Vice President Harris on Trump endorsing Florida's extreme abortion ban. The following is a statement from Vice President Kamala Harris on Trump endorsing Florida's near total abortion ban. Donald Trump just made his position on abortion very clear. He will vote to uphold an abortion ban so extreme it applies before many women even know they are pregnant. Trump proudly brags about the role that he played in overturning Roe v. Wade and said there should be punishment for women who have an abortion. So, of course, he thinks it's a beautiful thing that women in Florida and across the country are being turned away from emergency rooms, face life-threatening situations, and are forced to travel hundreds of miles for the care they need. And understand, he is not done. As part of Donald Trump's Project 2025 agenda, he and his allies would limit access to birth control, threaten access to fertility treatments, and ban abortion nationwide with or without Congress. I trust women to make their own healthcare decisions and believe the government should never come between a woman and her doctor. When I am president and Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom, I will proudly sign it into law. The choice in this election is clear, a powerful statement. It's also worth noting, too, that the Harris campaign is launching a massive bus tour beginning in Florida. And so, they're showing that they're also bullish in Florida as well. And we'll obviously be covering that as we learn more, of course. We'll keep you posted every step of the way, but wanted to share that with you here on the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe and let's get to 4 million subscribers together.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.